it's Mark and Cindy on the radio, 10 to 11 a.m. Well, it's Mark and Cindy, they've got a morning show.
Oh, I just hate to interrupt, Jared. This is the Mark and Cindy show, and it is now Tuesday, the 25th of February.
It's just going, and
Three
it's
more days.
It's a short month.
Yeah, that's right.
February.
3 more days.
You
Is
know,
this leap year? What is leap year?
29. It's not now. It's not now. It might have been last year. I think it was. Raise your hand if you think it's last year. Okay.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, here on the Mark and Cindy Show, we've got so much going. And Cindy, I'm just going to have to tell them because Cindy's not feeling very well, and she said she may have to run off any minute now. I can't say it. She's got.
Why didn't I give you
she
the
might
script?
throw up is what I was trying to say, but that'll make her do it.
Script. Now, see, everybody's going to be
I know.
anticipating. I'm feeling better since
terrible.
I started talking, and getting my energy up. It's it's
and
okay.
here I am. I'm drinking coffee house coffee from Leo next door. And by the way, her lunch special today is she's got this chicken curry coconut soup. This is the best soup, lady, I think I've ever heard. And she's got
that's a great combination.
Yeah, chicken curry coconut. Anyway, and they've got these croissant sandwiches she does. Oh, my word.
Oh, no.
Get out of town.
Her breakfast sandwich.
See, I haven't had that.
Yeah, you
Okay.
gotta try that.
Anyway, I wholeheartedly
You know what you
recommend.
never talked about? Talking about food, and it's so early in the morning, it's perfect time for it. Is when I took Mark over, and I was going to take Richard over, but he couldn't. He was too busy.
Yeah.
I took him over to the Yellow House, but it's really the original Super Burger place in Willis, right off the 75 drag, right there in the heart of Willis. Is one of the best burgers I've ever tasted. They're fast, they're good, and they have fried zucchini. And
Yes.
so you haven't told me what you thought of it.
One thing I particularly liked about the burger is it was greasy. I like a greasy burger. I mean, not beyond greasy, but it's just, where you have to wipe your mouth. Great burger. And by the way,
okay, that's
Cindy,
enough about greasy.
speaking of what's the name of that place again?
The original Super Burger?
Original Yellow House in Willis on 75, right?
And
in
the
one of
old
those other
Montgomery.
streets.
Yeah.
By the way, we are having it's not a contest by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a want-to-know thing. We would like to know your favorite franchise hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking here fast food burger, like Burger King, Whataburger, McDonald's, Sonic, Dairy Queen.
Jack in the Box.
Those. Whichever burger is your favorite, if you can call us here, 936-347-3776.
936-647-3776.
Or get on Facebook and just comment. And what we're going to do is we're going to, I believe Thursday, we're going to have a drawing of all of those people who told us what their favorite burger was. And whoever wins, Cindy's going to give me $10, and I'm going to get you a gift certificate and mail it to you for the burger. I mean, if you chose Dairy Queen, you'll get a Dairy Queen gift certificate. Anyway, that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
So please let us know this. And sometime between now and then, Cindy and Dick and I will tell you what our favorite burger is, because I know you're waiting with bated breath. What does that mean, Cindy? Bated
don't talk
breath?
about bated breath.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Bad.
Okay.
Shut
but anyway, keep that in mind. Your favorite franchise. I'm sorry. See what you did to me? Franchise hamburger.
No.
Oh, Cindy.
I know which one.
Please,
Okay, yes.
we've got your
What?
topic. She put it on Facebook. It is fascinating. Fascinating. But did you know that Taco Bell is coming out with a breakfast waffle taco?
How could we come up with so many subject matters when somebody is not
so
nauseous?
sick. And normally,
if I wasn't nauseous before, I would have been
wouldn't-
nauseous after we talk about
How are you not nauseous about nuclear fallout?
Oh, well, that's going to be bad.
Yeah, well, that's kind of
That's our
depressing, but it
subject
doesn't
that's
make you
coming.
nauseous. No, it
We'll
doesn't.
get under the desk.
But before you get into the radiation poisoning, I said a breakfast taco. Taco Bell's not even open for breakfast that I know of. I don't think I've ever seen it
I
open
thought they were
for
24 hours. What's wrong
Maybe
with those
it's
guys?
no, not Taco Bell. Anyway, that's
it'd be interesting to see Taco Bell and places like that at like 12 o'clock at night working there. Now, because now Taco
Who
Bell will
drives
have to be
through?
open after 12 for breakfast. Cause
Yeah.
That's right.
What time does breakfast usually start at fast food restaurants?
Good question.
4? 4 o'clock, 5
Oh
o'clock.
man, I
If
have
they're
no
open
idea.
on, I thought it was like 6.
Well, some of them just give in and like, 24 hours, we'll serve breakfast. Like
yeah.
Jack in the Box and
Yeah, I don't
Sonic.
know when like McDonald's are 24 hours when they start their breakfast.
I think it's Sonic. It's like 10:30 because that's as early as they can get those car hops out. And I'm joking because those ladies are they work very hard.
They do.
Running around and all.
So you want to go to Taco Bell and get a waffle taco?
A waffle?
Goodness
Shut
no,
up.
I don't like.
It's like a McGriddle. You ever had a McGriddle before?
Now, if they put gravy on it, Cindy, I am so sorry. I am.
Pico de Gallo is
Pico
really
de gallo.
looking
I'm
good.
sorry. No, she's feeling
Guys at
better.
Cilantro should be listening to this.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Cindy, get us on with your particular topic, your of interest.
I just wanted to talk about the back in the 60s, how we were so, I think, terrorized by what could happen and all the talk of war in Russia and all that stuff. And I remember that I think it was the elementary school, we had to go see movies about the atomic bomb and the effects of that. And then we had to do all these drills. All the drills. Do you remember the drills?
I remember duck and cover.
Duck and cover. And you'd have to go get under your desk when you'd hear that alarm go off. And so it was like a constant thing that we were always aware of that could happen at any time. And then I remember when Kennedy came out and talked about the Cuban crisis, and we all had to sit down and listen to this at home and trying to understand what he was saying, and then listening to my parents discuss it, and knowing that this thing was like, this looked like it was going to happen, and everybody was wondering what we were going to do. And Gulf Gate Bowling Alley had a shelter because they were underneath. It was underneath the ground. The bowling alley was, and so it was. I remember seeing it says designated bomb shelter, and you'd go down in there, and I thought, well, that would be okay if I could go there, stay there, and we could eat and bowl, and while the war was going on, and that would be okay. But that next day at school, it was like a Friday, and I remember telling my friends like goodbye, and we were hugging because we didn't know if we'd see each other again. So that was terrorizing, I think, to us as little kids, and that's what we were kind of brought up in.
I wish they did that
during
today.
That time. But today they don't talk about it. My kids don't talk
Carpe diem
anything.
should be in your mind every day.
They hear so much. Do you think it's just because they hear so much? I think they can't get past Putin's name, and they don't hear anything else that they talk about after that because they start laughing at that, and they can't hear what things that are going on.
I mean, have you seen a school today? Have you been to? When's the last time you went to a high school?
To a high school?
To a high school.
Not to a high school, but
I'm talking about a high school. When's the
elementary.
last time you visited a high school?
I have not been to a high school lately.
You should check it out.
What?
It's really weird.
What happened?
Like you can't get inside.
Oh, you're talking about the safety.
Oh,
issues.
you mean bringing
Now,
an atomic bomb in the class? Yeah, it's
no,
going to be
I
tough.
think- I
I'm not
think
saying it
they're
can't be
very-
done.
I think they're very
Splendora,
aware.
if you go back through that cafe, no, I'm not even going to tell.
No, I
But
think
Cindy,
they're
may I
very
say
aware
this one
of,
thing?
of somebody, bringing a gun in and shooting everybody.
yeah.
I think they're aware of that.
That's
Well, I think
true.
what you're talking about school safety. Back in the day, that they're trying to basically get everyone mentally prepared if there was an attack. Because what's hiding under a desk really going to do from an atomic bomb?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, because they would tell us that and show us that. Then they go and show us this film where the things just blew over, and it was everything was burned up.
Well, today's
That
focus would be more of if the school was under attack from like a person inside. I think do they show
Right.
videos? You think that about school shootings?
Dick,
And-
we
I
don't
don't
really
think
care.
they
What we're
do.
talking
I
about
don't
here
think they
is
do.
atomic bombs.
This is
They
the
may.
60s.
I don't know. I haven't
Well, I'm
been there.
trying
in a
to
while.
connect it to today's
Well,
standards.
don't.
Yeah.
What do we
Here's
do?
what I want to say about this. We're talking
I'm so
about
glad he's
historic
happy.
to our some of our viewers out there. When we were doing this duck and cover thing, first they showed us this film of when they were doing testing, and they blow up this thing in the building. They showed a building and the glass going,
Yeah.
and then the building
Blows over.
disintegrating.
It's like paper.
And and all of this stuff. And then one of the first things they said is when the blast, right before it goes off, you'll see a flash, and it will blind you. You will be blinded by the flash if you look at it. And then they show the building go, and the thing it left with me was, oh my gosh, I hope I'm not looking at it when it comes because I'll be blinded. And then
Right.
you get under your desk.
Oh,
But-
and then they talk about how to get over the sickness that you're going to have if you
oh
survive
gosh,
that.
and Cindy,
if
you can
survive
identify.
This.
But
yes,
did
that's
y'all
what-
do this? I know Dick didn't do this, but did you do this? They had a day at when I was at Gardens Elementary in the first grade. And we all gathered, all the kids, they took us outside, and the parents came in their cars, parents. And my mom, I don't know how she knew. I mean, they called them and all, and it was like to us, it was a surprise. Oh, we're having a bomb attack. So everybody to the cars. And I got in the car with Mom. I got to sit in the front seat. And my girlfriend, who didn't know she was my girlfriend, Barbara, little blonde-headed girl, got in the back seat. I was so happy she could go. And here we're getting ready to be fried. And going in the car, and all I could think about is Barbara's in the back seat. And anyway, they just took us out to Champion Park and then drove us back. We had a sack lunch or something. I don't know. But it was fascinating.
So it wasn't really
No, it was a test.
Oh, it was
that
a test.
was just a test.
Mark's just really glad
This
there's
is
a
a
lot of
test.
testing going on.
Oh,
in first grade.
man, no kidding. If I'd been
know
a
that
teacher.
you missed your test.
Did you hold her hand and be like, I'm really glad we're sharing this
No, she
testing
did not know.
moment
And you know
together.
what was so sad, Dick? This is going to break your heart. She left about mid-term. We didn't have terms back then. We had a year.
Right.
And she left, and I never knew
Oh,
why. I
break.
never got to say goodbye, Barbara. Goodbye.
Oh, you never
She's
told
gone.
her bye?
No, I didn't
so
know
she
she
never
was gone.
knew this?
One day she didn't show
Should
up.
we contact her?
No, first grade.
You know,
who
I don't
cares?
remember her last name. I just remember Miss Anna.
Do y'all have annuals?
Barbara's gone. Oh, yeah, we had a first grade annual.
Do you have the picture of her?
No, it was a hand-drawn
Keeps
thing.
those. I don't know.
But
No, not in that grade.
anyway, those
No.
were the times and beautiful songs.
Can I ask you a question, Mark?
You got it. Question mark.
What did I didn't send it to? So that's for the kids. What did the parents have to do? I mean, was there like a
Work.
Well, no, I meant more
They
of
just work.
the idea of you're being told this is how you prepare for this kind of attack. What did the parents have to go through?
Oh, they sued the
No,
daylights.
they did not.
No,
they
we
didn't.
They didn't have to go through any training or anything. They're just like, oh, my kids are fine. I'm dead. 'Cause
No,
they're the ones that get the
we-
high under the desk.
No, this is how my mother looked at it. If God's in charge, if it happens, it happens. But I'm not going to worry about it, and we're going to live every day like everything's fine. So don't even worry about it. Forget about it. Is what's
Forget
her whole,
about it.
Her whole
I get
attitude.
that. I get that individually, but I meant as like a town.
Well, they had civil defense.
Yeah.
On your TV, occasionally they would have, I guess, like documentaries or on the news. They'd tell you a report to
If
the
there's
nearest,
a problem,
and you
go
didn't have any.
here. Yeah.
I do remember this. People were building fallout shelters in their backyard, and we wanted one. Dad, can we have a fallout shelter, please? And we couldn't. But
You called it fallout shelter. So
Yes.
we called it bomb shelter. And my dad started digging, and it got about this.
That's because
big.
they're optimistic. You know that, right?
That's right. That's right. They don't believe it's really going to happen. But it got about this deep. And when it rained, it filled up with water, and we put a boat out there and felt like we were. And he never finished it.
Yeah,
He never finished
that-
it. We had more fun with
Well,
it.
there's
like
a bomb
that.
shelter because you're going to get hit by a bomb, and then there's a fallout shelter, which means you survive
Right.
the bomb,
Right,
and you're
that's
hanging
true.
out in the shelter
Yeah.
for
You better have a lot of
160
Did
days.
you- crackers.
Did you see the movie with Brandon Fraser, Blast from the Past?
Oh, yeah.
I did.
That
Don't remember
was
much.
great, and it was to the extreme. But there have been people that have bought houses. They found later on they bought it, and probably third, fourth generation of people buying this house. Then they discover there's a bomb shelter in the backyard that they didn't even
Whoa.
know it was closed up and stuff. And so it reminded me of Blast from the Past. People that they went down there and they found the foods that they'd put in there for. It was very interesting.
You know, one thing people didn't know back then, and they didn't know till years later, is that the CIA was informing Kennedy that the Soviet Union had 10 times more weapons and missiles than they actually had. So we kept building up, and Khrushchev and all is over there saying, what the heck are they doing? I guess we're going to have to start building. And it was later until, in fact, actually, I don't know if he knew until he died that what had happened.
Well, that
but
was-
we actually started the arms race.
That was
with
the ultimate chess game because you couldn't.
was.
You didn't have. That was the age of
You
the satellite, and no one could really see what's going on. All like specifically. So
Yeah.
it's like, do
Your
these
U-2
guys got
flights.
this? Do these guys got it?
Well, when they started moving they were moving all of the warheads and what they were moving towards
Cuba.
in Cuba. What was it they saw them moving them in the trucks?
the
That was through
U-2 flight showed where they
was like-
cleared out a place and they put
Yeah.
some cylinders that looked like missile, not the missiles themselves, but they were working on the missiles. The warheads were coming is what we had to
yes, the
stop.
warheads were coming.
Yeah, I
It
say
was
had to
scary.
stop.
Still could happen
I don't
today in
know.
North Korea. Could happen.
Well,
Oh, man,
sure.
what a Looney Tunes
Sure,
place.
yeah. It's terrible. So, people back then were writing songs like "The Eve of Destruction,"
Mm-hmm.
and Springfield had a song that was just as scary, but
Oh,
we
yeah.
sang it like it was like,
Oh, man.
ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
This
And-
is a world
Yeah, it
that
never-
is exploding, violence flaring, bullets loading.
It did not. I didn't connect. I didn't understand. And when he would sing, oh, I know it. It's something's happening here. What? I never understood. any of this. And so these guys were trying to scare us. The teachers were trying to scare us.
And Dick's trying to get us out of
And
here for the...
Dick's trying to tell us,
right.
it's time now.
Mark and
It's
Cindy
time
show,
now.
ladies and gentlemen, and we'll continue a
We
little of
will
this.
be right back. We're
We're
going
going to end on such a happy note, Cindy. It's scary.
No, but we're going to talk about something that's scary or happening right now, today, on your TV, that's scaring a lot of people. But we're going to talk about that
I can't wait
when
to
we
hear it.
come back. Thank you for listening. The Mark and Cindy Show.
Battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong.
The East Texas Dream Center, conveniently located at 301 South 1st Street, Conroe, Texas 77301, relies solely upon the generosity of those who are led to contribute. We are a Christian organization that houses women and children who are trying to get their lives back after being homeless, abused, or addicted. Your financial contributions are tax deductible. We are recognized by the IRS as a tax-exempt organization under Section 501c3. With faith, hope, education, and a lot of love, we seek to lead individuals towards self-sufficiency so they can become contributing members of society. Your generous gift will help women and children in our community. Please visit our website to find ways to donate or volunteer. Our website is www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Again, the website is www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. A telephone number where you can reach us is 281-601-6800. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Hello, this is Dennis Nelson, inviting you to come with me through the doorway of imagination and into the theater of the mind. The Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour presents a play every Saturday night at 7 p.m. on Lone Star Internet Radio. Be it drama or comedy, thriller or love story, every exciting episode is carefully chosen straight from the golden age of radio and performed live by talented actors, musicians, and sound effects crew. Every sound you hear will be 100% live and homemade. Anything can happen. So join us, please, every Saturday night at 7 p.m. for the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds.
Getting so much resistance from behind. I'm
No,
sorry,
it's far
Cindy.
behind. I
Let's
thought
go.
it was
Far
from
behind.
behind. Okay, I never do. You know how you make up the words?
I really had a bad
do.
joke there.
You
I didn't
do.
want to
Okay,
do it.
good. Thank you, Richard. He suppressed that. You're listening to the Mark and Cindy Show. We are broadcasting live out of downtown Conroe. So if you ever pass by 208 North Main Street, wave at us. And this is like old school radio where they used to do this, where people could come by and wave at them and see what's going on.
Yeah, put their notes
and
in.
yeah, and we have so many jurors on Monday normally that walk by, and they're in such a hurry and they're not in a good mood that we don't get a lot of waves from them. But
No.
anyway, this is a day we're talking about some things that terrorize people and some things that are scary to people. And I know in the schools, I was just telling Mark, in the schools, what they're worried about is somebody, walking in with a gun and shooting children, which they very well should be, because of the sometimes crazy people do things like that. But I remember after the bad shooting that happened,
Not the good one?
not the good one, the really bad one,
bad
the really
one,
one that
okay.
caused everybody to go like, we need to recheck our security.
Yeah.
And they had a meeting at the school and said, okay, everybody, we're going to come together and we're going to have an expert come tell us about how to lock down a school. And so during that meeting, I didn't know they were having this meeting, and Samuel had left something in his desk, so I came back to the school after everybody was gone. I was going to try and get in and see if anybody was there, and all these cars there. I'm like, somebody's here. So I kept walking around to all the doors, and they were locked, except if you went back through where the recess place was in the playground, you could go back through there, and the door was open, and I walked in, and I walked down the hall, and I walked past all the meeting, and they all turned around and looked at me, and I waved at them, and I walked onto Samuel's room, and I quickly
And
was
got his
met by another
backpack
teacher
and,
going like, "What are you doing?" They know. I mean, they know my face. I'm there a lot, but
In other words, you breached the security.
I did. They forgot that one door, and it's that one
Yeah,
door that
they
you
get you every
gotta
time.
watch out for. And I think that's a scary thing for for the kids to think about. But adults watching TV and listening to the disclaimers of commercials. I've got a couple of examples of commercials that I'm going to have Richard play. And one of them is some guy just recorded it off the TV. And the other is the full commercial. And I want you to listen to these and tell me why in the world you would ever take this.
Ingredients. Symptoms of a serious allergic reaction may include swelling of face, lips, tongue, or throat, fainting or dizziness, very rapid heartbeat, problems breathing or swallowing, severe rash or itching. Tell your doctor if you get a lump or swelling in your neck.
Yeah.
Serious side effects may happen in people who take Victoza, including inflammation of the
That wasn't
pancreas,
serious?
pancreatitis, which may be fatal. Stop taking Victoza and call your doctor right away
yeah.
if you have signs of pancreatitis, such as severe pain that will not go away in your abdomen or from your abdomen to your back, with or without vomiting. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take and if you have any medical conditions. Taking Victoza with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Great.
The most common side effects are nausea, diarrhea, and headache. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
If your pill isn't giving you the control you need, ask your doctor about non-insulin Victoza. It's covered by most health plans.
Oh my God! You know,
No,
Cindy, I'm
thank
taking
you.
it because
No,
he did
thank
not
you.
mention constipation.
Okay, well, let's no.
I don't care about my pancreas. I
Okay.
think what the heck.
I got on Victoza. I mean, and I had gone to Lubbock. I just started
You're
it. Went to
diabetic?
Lubbock. Yeah. You
Oh
know
wow!
that?
Well, hey,
I didn't know that.
today I learned.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Okay. Well,
That's important.
I'm sorry, I've been forcing this stuff on you. I'm sorry.
that's right.
Here's some.
No, and so this is an insulin, but it's given you administer it like insulin, and it was horrible. I got really sick and dehydrated so bad quickly because this stuff really does work. I mean, it works on you, and so when I heard that ad and they started telling all those things, I went, "Good grief, that is so true."
No wonder.
And then this other one that is with Lyrica. Now listen to Lyrica. It has such a lyrical name.
What's Lyrica do, by the way?
Lyrica. You're going to get ready
Okay.
to find out.
Yeah.
I have diabetic nerve pain. I worked at patrol unit for 17 years in the city of Baltimore. When I first started experiencing the pain, it's hard to describe because you have a numbness, but yet you have the pain like thousands of needles sticking in your foot. It was progressively getting worse, and at that point I knew I had to do something. When I went back to my healthcare professional, that's when she suggested the Lyrica. Once I started taking the Lyrica,
Okay, this is
the
only
pain
22
started
seconds.
subsiding.
This
It's
is a
known
minute
that
commercial.
diabetes
Now,
Okay.
damages nerves. Lyrica is FDA approved to treat diabetic nerve pain. Lyrica is not for everyone.
You're
it
right.
may cause serious allergic reactions or suicidal thoughts or actions. Tell your doctor right away if you have these. New or worsening depression or unusual changes in mood or behavior, or swelling, trouble breathing, rash, hives, blisters, changes in eyesight including blurry vision, muscle pain with fever, tired feeling, or skin sores from diabetes.
Oh.
Common side effects are dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, and swelling of hands, legs, and feet. Don't
There you
drink
go.
alcohol while taking Lyrica. Don't drive or use machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you.
That's right.
Those who have had a drug or alcohol problem may be more likely to misuse Lyrica. Ask your doctor about
Why?
Lyrica today.
I
It's
kinda
specific
wanna try
treatment
it.
for diabetic nerve
That sounds
pain.
exciting.
To hear more of Terry's story,
I
visit
am.
Lyrica.com.
Yeah, so there was 20 seconds of the talking about the product
Pain.
and this testimony, and then it was like the whole time was spent on what it will do to
warnings.
you.
Try
and the
not to
warnings.
inhale with Lyrica. And people,
so
let me say
weird.
this. I know government's all over your back, but, I need to know stuff like this. I'm glad
Well-
they're not going to do that because, hey, this is a good thing to do.
That's why I'm happy there's over the counter and then there's prescription
this
drugs.
stuff.
But I don't know who in their right mind would go, here, it's a little give and take game. You can get rid of that pain in your foot, but you
Well,
might have suicidal thoughts.
he
That's
had
right.
me at
Which
suicide.
is worse?
really.
Which is worse? Is it what you have or what this is to help you get rid of it? I can't.
I
just
can't believe they opened up
believe
with
it.
suicidal thoughts. That was the first thing they said. Like, if you take Lyrica, you might
I
have
would have
suicidal
saved
thoughts.
that for
Or
later.
laugh.
I would have
Yeah.
said you might have a mild headache, and also you might have suicide. So we're gonna go.
You may not like yourself as much as you used to,
Yeah.
but other
But
than
that pain's gone in your foot.
That's right. I'm telling you.
Oh, hey,
it's
that pain in your foot is bad. I
strange.
hear from my brother, but it's not worth suicide.
No. No.
Or
When you take medication like that, or they talk about, do you usually do the pros and cons? Because I know now that we know you're diabetic, when you're offered that drug, where you're like, hey, what are the side effects? And if they listed those side effects, what was your immediate response?
Here's what the doctor said: you may have some diarrhea, you may have some nausea. I thought I was. Like it was like when you're pregnant, that nausea where you feel like,
I know exactly.
Don't get me started.
All right before you actually hurl. No, this is terrible. People in the morning. But it had that over and over. And so when they say that, a lot of times they say, now you may experience this, and you never think that's really going to happen. So
is it a hit or miss? Is that what that?
Oh
is that
yeah,
why they do it?
It
It's
happens.
Like some people, it works on people.
That's what it is. You're like
the
guinea
suicidal
pig.
thought thing that would scare the bejesus out of me. It's like I don't want to take anything that has a potential of giving me suicidal thoughts.
Well, that's what I don't understand is when they do this, and what I think's funny is instead of it doing it quickly, suicidal thoughts, they're having someone say, you may have suicidal thoughts. So they keep the voice the same way that they're talking, so that this really you don't know, and you're desensitized to it because you've already heard the great things in this voice. Now I'm getting ready to tell you the horrible things, but I'm going to still talk this way. So it's very strange.
But you found something that you works with you.
It does.
Okay.
If I work with it.
Okay, so what does that mean? Like you counter it with something else, or
don't eat candy, exercise, drink more water. So
don't exercise or drink.
No.
Okay.
Don't eat candy, exercise more, and drink your water. Those, and when you walk, you can bring down your blood sugar level a lot just by walking. See, so there's a lot of things you can do for yourself, but I do a lot of things like, I don't care today. I'm just going to go see a movie and I want some candy. That's what I want to do. But that's if you stay good, you can once in a while do something like that. It's all about the being, watch yourself. And discipline.
What I do is whatever the doctor prescribes, I take it. And I don't want to read the bad stuff because
you don't even care. You're like, give it to me.
Let me finish it. What I say is, if it says constipation, I'm going to have constipation. There's no question about it.
Don't give him.
I will have headaches. I will see visions if it says that. But here's the deal.
You're so right.
I was taking Lipitor, which is for I think it's cholesterol. I hope so.
Yeah, that's right.
It hasn't done anything to my sex life, if that's what you're thinking. But this Lipitor stuff, I was taking it, and I'm trying to memorize these lines for that play that I keep plugging, Inherit the Wind, starting March 21st. Anyway, and I'm having trouble, and I'm forgetting stuff, and Kay said, Mark, did you know Lipitor can cause your brain to, can cause you to have trouble remembering things? And anyway, she just listed, and I said, you're kidding. That's it. So I quit taking Lipitor. My cholesterol is probably, I got veins closed up, but my brain, this brain here is working like a clock. But anyway, that's the thing.
Why he's so hot.
If I know,
your doctor deal with that?
It's happening,
I'll give you placebos.
Next
That's all
time I
do.
see him, he's going to check my cholesterol and say, "Oh my gosh, his Lipitor is not working." I said, "Yeah, maybe you ought to give me something else." And he said, "Okay, but this causes constipation."
It's either that or I remember yesterday.
Right.
It's a choice.
I don't remember.
I'd rather live my life than live longer.
And I honestly do not know if it was affecting me, but just the hint that, it might. I've got it. That's me. My brain is dying. Alzheimer's is around the corner, but now I'm okay.
But see, that's so great. Don't you think God sends that to certain people
he's laughing
so that you don't?
Yeah.
You know what? It's about time you forget everything that happened because you just live in the past. I need you to start living right now. Yeah. That is so funny.
I always told people if they want to lose weight, just get on Adderall, and they'll lose 30 pounds, 40 pounds.
And that is a scary.
What is that?
Adderall.
That's
to keep you
an
focused.
ADHD medication.
Oh, okay.
Help keep you focused. But the side effect of it is you don't eat because you want to focus on what you're doing, so you don't want to eat.
It's practically cocaine.
And my luck would be that I take it and it would affect me to focus on my eating, but I would eat more. So I don't think I would.
No, it doesn't because it suppresses your stomach.
Right. I was just saying, but you focus.
You can't. You literally can't
on something. Yeah, watch me. You know, the doctor would say, "All right, Cindy, you can't. You got to stop eating. You just can't."
Well, earlier in the program, you're like, "I don't feel good,"
Yeah.
and they have that tight throat kind of thing, kind of feeling like you just can't. You don't want to be talking about food.
Yeah,
that's the feeling you get for like 12 hours.
Oh, forget it. No, I have much more
But you
fun
can focus
thinking
on
about
other
the-
things, so you get your mind doesn't care about it.
Right. No, that's true. And it's a terrible drug to take. Don't
Ladies and gentlemen,
do
this is
it.
the Mark and Cindy
Don't
Show.
do
We
it.
are going to be back in just a few seconds after a few words, and we are going to try to talk about something that doesn't make me want to. Well, I can't say the word because Cindy will.
That's right. Don't do it. Mark
Later.
and Cindy Show live.
1,000 people in the street singing songs and a carry inside.
Hello, Montgomery County. I'm Rachel Baldwin with Special Olympics Texas Area 6. Are you a fan of courage? Are you a fan of determination? Are you a fan of acceptance, grace, and skill? Then you're already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, and or compete and be a fan of dignity and acceptance. The dedication of our Special Olympic Texas volunteers provides mainstreaming experiences for athletes with intellectual disabilities. You will touch the heart of another person, and it will move you in a meaningful way that lifts the spirit. Please visit the Heart of East Texas Area 6 webpage at www.sotx.org. Also, like us on Facebook to be a fan and be part of Special Olympics Texas.
Do you ever wonder what's going on in the business community? Are you looking for ways to get plugged in? Cassandra Roshan here, Director of Membership Development with the Greater Conroe, Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to invite you to tune in to Chamber Chat. Tune in the first Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. so you will be in the know for all Chamber happenings for the month. Each month, the Chamber offers 2 free lunch and learn sessions, a networking breakfast, business after hours, membership luncheon, as well as many other special events throughout the year. I will give you a rundown of all programs and events for the month, as well as interview our speakers and hosts of these events. So grab a cup of coffee and tune in to Chamber Chat the first Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. Chat with you then.
Hi, I'm Joyce with the Corner Pub in downtown Conroe. We're located at the corner of Simonton and North Main, just across the street from the courthouse. The week starts off Monday with open mic hosted by Alan, and Tuesday nights open mic hosted by Jeremy Bankhead. And on Thursday evening, McFarland Jams. There's nightly drink specials available every night, all night. And don't forget, live entertainment every weekend. To see a full list of events, visit our website at thecornerpubinconroe.com. So come join us at the Corner Pub, where the deli is open late.
Mostly say hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Man, those were the days.
I tell you, it brought about some great songs, Cindy.
It did. They were so
Cold
sad.
War, yeah.
It was so
They
sad.
were.
I'm telling you,
great.
that's the best way to write music.
You know,
right.
it
They
made me
had
want to
it.
take
They had it.
Lipitor.
The impending,
That's
the
as
impending doom
close
on
as I
everybody.
could come.
But you
to-
know, I would go places, and that smell. What is that smell? And it was marijuana. I didn't know what it was.
yeah.
I thought they were all too poor to afford good cigarettes, and so they had these
skunk
little
family.
teeny cigarettes.
They didn't even
Family
look
of
good.
skunks. That's what it is.
I was like, why are they doing that? Can't they afford, or just it was terrible. But you know, when I look back on that, everything's fine. I don't look back on a depressed or a scary childhood at all. And I lived in a very scary part of town, but I didn't know it. I didn't
Cindy,
see those things.
it's
That's what's
even
great about
scarier now.
Kids. You
Your
think
part
so?
of town you came from, yes.
I know.
I know the part of town I came from. It's a little scarier.
And everything looks so small. And isn't that
Yeah.
weird? And you go back to your high school and everything's so small. What is that?
Why does that happen to your
I am
brain?
bigger. That's true. I am bigger than I was back then.
Hadn't thought
But
of that.
everything looks like just
Yeah.
amazing. But speaking of your mind, have you ever had this happen to you, both of you? Is that you drive to Kroger, like all the time. If you drove to Kroger all
Yes,
the
I
time,
do.
if you think of something that you drive to all the time, And so, but today you're going to go to the show, which is past Kroger.
Mm-hmm.
And your mind has been so programmed to go to Kroger. The minute you stop thinking about where you're going, the subconscious takes over and it takes you to Kroger. You will make a turn, you'll brake, but you're thinking all the time about something that happened. And then you're sitting in the parking lot of Kroger and like, what am I doing here? Now, it's not old age because I've done that for many, many years. And then I started studying about how the subconscious programs things. And if you're not consciously aware of what you're doing, then it has to take over. Right. And it's taking over and it's only obeying the signs it's been trained to obey. Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
It is. I don't know how many times Kay has told me, Mark, where are you going? I mean, we're driving and we're headed somewhere. And she says, where are you going? I said, oh, my gosh, I was going to wherever you said, Kroger's or something, and we're supposed to be. I was going to school one day when I was driving to school, and we're talking about, right before 6 a.m. I'm driving on the freeway, and I'm going.
We have a phone call, so we need to interrupt where you're going.
Okay, I'm going to write this down or I will forget.
Okay. Caller, what is your name, and what are you calling about?
Hey, this is Sue, and I'm calling to ask Mark if he got my package.
Susan, I was going to.
I love this lady.
There is actually
Is this a private line?
Yes,
I love this
There is a
lady.
bag of apples, 2 apples actually, on the cabinet that I meant to bring for Cindy and Dick, and I was going to lead with this. My sister Sue sent me a box of Honeycrisp apples. I got them yesterday.
But I can't wait now. You're going to have to. I have to follow you home.
Well, yeah,
and get one.
I'm so sorry. I forgot them. I meant to, and when I didn't have them, because I wanted to hand them out on the air, but I was going to do that tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Sue,
we'll do it tomorrow, and we'll
so
eat them on the
sweet.
air, Sue. Okay.
I'm sorry, I spoiled everything.
No,
for
you
Mark.
did not, young lady. You quit that. But thank you so much, and for your that's your son-in-law. Who got him for me?
Kurt.
Kurt. Oh, yeah. And his boys for.
And Sue is calling from
Washington State. I am so
State.
sorry. And she's from Washington State.
And that's where they grow them, right? That's
where they got Honeycrisp. I think they grow them in several places.
Were grown right here.
Yeah.
Right there
Those are
with Sue.
Washington
Sue,
apples.
you are the sweetest
I
thing.
just wanted to mention that the reason I called was because I thought, well, he must not have got them, and it cost so much to send them. I said,
No
well,
kidding.
I looked it up, and it
Sheesh.
showed they were delivered. And I thought, well, this is the easiest way to find out if they were delivered.
It is.
You know,
that's to
I tell you.
For all the years you put towards all the presents or all the money that y'all have sent me over the years for my birthday.
Well, I was hoping for payback, all right. So, no. You could have sent CJ up here in his pickup truck for what that cost or on his motorcycle. But, Susan, that was so sweet of you.
Sure. Well, if you would come up there with your other two of your other brothers, you would get to see them, too.
Y'all need to go visit.
They won't let me, Sue,
y'all
but...
Have a good day.
Okay. Thanks,
Sue.
Sue.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Later,
Sweet
kiddo.
Sue.
That is, wow.
She's
When I
so
got that,
cute.
the box was so heavy, I said, oh, my gosh, but I could smell the apples. It was
You could?
Yeah.
Just before you opened it. That's
Anyway,
great.
but you're right. What I was going to say is I was headed to school, and like I always do, and all of a sudden, it's like I come to. Right. I'm on everything's, and I look, and there is a service station. What am I saying? A filling station there, a store. I had never noticed it before, and I said, oh, my gosh, I'm lost. Where am I? And I had to read the exit sign to make sure it was mine. That is really being out of it for a long time.
No, you can't. You can go on automatic pilot, but the automatic pilot is only trained to go to this place once it sees those signs. I mean, that is just interesting that you're looking at the road, you see the lights and all that stuff, and you stop and you turn, but your mind is nowhere in that car.
When we're on the Hardy Toll Road, I don't know how many times I will say, I do not know if I've gone through one of the toll deer. We have Easy Tag, but I don't remember where I am on that road because who's going to, think of traffic when there's not that much driving? And I'm thinking of everything else.
Well, the programming that goes on, like from the time that you learned to ride a bike and how you had to think of everything, like your grip, the grip you had on the handlebars, and how you brake and how you turn and trying to keep yourself balanced and all that. And within like a couple of weeks, you're doing wheelies, you've got your feet up on the handlebars, you're waving to everybody, and you're not having to think anymore about what's going on because the subconscious is already doing it. I just love the fascinating part of the brain.
you'll remember it like riding a bicycle.
That's exactly right. You'll never, and you'll never forget it. So I don't think that's gone. I don't think the training and being able to instill something in our brain, like trying to memorize a script and that kind of thing. And then once you get on stage, it automatically like kind of takes over if you'll let it.
I hope. Yeah.
But now, and the reason I know this is because when I learned sign language and I learned every letter and was so worried about signing and if I got my hands right, am I doing this right and all. And until I did it so long that I could think of all other kind of things. When I'm standing up there interpreting a sermon, I think about, oh, look, she's got, I didn't know she was here. That's something. That's, where
pretty handbag.
Now, let me tell you, it wasn't because I was being disrespectful to the sermon. It was that my conscious mind wouldn't get in the way anymore, because the minute I started thinking about what I was doing and like, wait a minute, is there a better sign for that? Or wait, maybe I should, did I do that right? I'm lost. I forget it. But I let the subconscious take over because that's what's been programmed, and I can think about and do other things. That's amazing that your mind can do that.
And that's the same on stage. If I start thinking, like you said, about what I'm doing,
you interrupt the flow.
It's bad. It is so bad. I start getting scared. Oh my gosh, what's the next line? And don't ever think.
So you're going to be fine.
Oh yeah,
Mark, you're going to be fine, aren't you?
Well, see, I thought I had the lines last night at rehearsal. And I really did on this particular scene. And I got up there and just blank. Oh gosh! So I've got. It's not wrote yet in my brain. I just.
That's
keep,
right. You just got to keep doing it. And that's gonna. The play is when?
I think it's March 21st. It opens on a Friday. By the way, the Thursday before then, which I think is the 20th, is family night. And any family, you don't have to be my family. You can come up anyway on that night.
At the Owen Theater, they always do a great thing on Thursday nights to let them have like a dress rehearsal, and so that you can come see it. And do you have to pay?
No, not on family
night.
You
to yell at them.
Yeah, and it's where, it's not your best performance. I wouldn't think. It's where we get all the mistakes out of the way, hopefully.
Right.
But hopefully it'll be.
And then you're ready to go. Yeah. And then you'll be fine. It's going to be great. And the name of the
is
play
Inherit the Wind. Inherit the Wind.
Starring Mark Hader, and who else is in it?
What's so sad about this, Quentin is, I don't know people's last names, and that is so bad. But there are several actors. By the way, we still need male actors to be in the jury. We need a reporter with a British accent. You don't have to have a British accent, but they still need people in the background, because there are a lot of players in a scene where you got 12 jurors and you got an audience that's...
and it's all male, right? It's all men in the jury.
No, there's women. Oh, yes, there's all males in the jury.
Yeah, because that was back in the 40s?
Yeah, it was supposed to be 1925, but we're having it in the 50s.
25.
We're having it in the 50s just because we don't
have
the...
Is that the movie was back in...
Yeah.
That's when it was...
The movie was in the, I think, early 60s or late 50s, but it portrayed an event that happened in 1925.
Okay.
But we're shooting it up to 1950s because we don't have the costumes for 1925.
There you go. That's a good way to do it. I like that justification. You're listening to the Mark and Cindy Show. Mark Hader, Cindy Cochran, right here.
And here's Buffalo Springfield.
Our community's animal shelters cannot absorb accidental litters of kittens and puppies. Approximately 80% of the animals entering our shelters will not make it out alive. Please help be a part of the solution. Please spay and neuter your pets. Many low-cost options are available. Visit texaslittercontrol.org to learn more. That's texaslittercontrol.org. And remember, real Texans don't litter. Please spay and neuter your pets.
Tune in at 3 o'clock every Wednesday for Aperture and Shutter Speed with me, Tom Moore of TR Moore Photos.
And me, Dick.
If you are an amateur or expert, or if you haven't ever picked up an SLR camera before, Aperture and Shutter Speed is a show for anyone who loves photography and film.
Join the conversation with us by calling in or emailing us your questions. If you want to know what's coming up on Aperture and Shutter Speed, just look up our show page on irlonestar.com or look us up on Facebook.
Join us every Wednesday at 3 p.m. for Aperture and Shutter Speed, and remember,
take your lens cap off.
Young people speaking their minds. are getting so much resistance from behind. Every time we stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mark and Cindy Show. It is our encouraging word segment time, but before we do that, I wanted to mention something because in case I go over with the encouraging word, which I often do. Thursday, Cindy, on Thursday show, we're going to have Jim Walker, who is he's a man of many talents. He works with the Crichton Theater. He has in the past in the Owens Theater, actor, director, all kinds of stuff. But he's also a Texas historian, and his specialty is the Battle of Goliad, and he knows about the Alamo, Battle of San Jacinto. Anyway, we're going to have him here, and I'm going to ask him questions, and he's going to inform us a little bit about the Texas history, the part that I think the only young people, if they know anything about Texas, they may know the Alamo, but other than that, Texas history, who was that?
You'd hate to do a man on the street with that.
Yeah. Anyway,
cool.
Jim Walker, that's day after tomorrow. We'll have him here. Today's encouraging word at the start isn't very encouraging. I was this morning I was thinking of something, and it's going to end encouraging, though. Let me tell you. Hang in there. And I was thinking about how the way we like people, or I like people, is if you like me, I can like you. Do you know how hard it is, and I think you do, to like people that really don't like you and they don't treat you nice? And it's practically impossible for me. And that's in no way the example that was set for me by Christ. You know, when you think of Jesus, and I've mentioned this before, before he's executed on the cross, nailed on the cross, he is being whipped by Roman soldiers. He's beat. He's got this crown of thorns on, and they're mocking him, and they're hitting him, and they're saying, "Hey, who did this to you? Can you guess? You're supposed to be the king of of the Son of God, and you can't even guess." Well, he could have guessed. Not guessed. He could have told them, "You're so and so." He could have told their whole history there, and they would have probably been so scared they wouldn't have crucified him. He did not. He just kept taking it, and he says, "Forgive them, because they don't know what they're doing." And even the person that's beating him, he wants to spend eternity. I want that man right there that just hit me and spit on me, I want him to live in heaven with me in eternity. How on earth can you love someone like that? Well, Christ can, and I'm supposed to act like him, or at least attempt to. And when I think of the people I can barely stand to look at sometimes because, they treat me bad, or they didn't say the right thing, or they really... And when I compare that to what Christ went through, it just makes me feel bad about myself, and I don't like feeling bad about myself, and so I need to put it past me and just try to live better. And some verses that help me, and I'm going to share two of them with you. Isaiah 26:3. I read this morning, and listen to this. In order to actually like people that don't like you and be kind to people who are unkind to you without, trying to take out vengeance, you've got to have peace of mind. And you get that through God. Isaiah 26:3, listen to this. It says, "You will keep in perfect peace." You is being God. "You will keep in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you." If I put my name in that, this reads like this: God will keep in perfect peace Mark, whose mind is stayed on him, because Mark trusts in God. If you can say that, if you'll look at Isaiah 26:3 and read that, Mark has to climb a mountain. Mark has to, beat off evil and all this. No, he says, Mark trusts in God. I trust in him. And there's no way I'm going to like this person without God's help in the matter. And the way that you can be assured of that is, once again, I read in John 1, 1 John 4:4, it says, "He who is in you is greater than he who is in the world." You've heard that so many times. If I can just keep that in mind when things, I'm feeling the anger, or I'm feeling animosity towards someone, think of what Christ did and what his message to me is. And the number of times, I don't think I shamed him. He knew everything was going to happen, but he knew I was disappointing myself and that person for the way I acted towards him. It's an exceptional person who can like those who don't like him, but you cannot do it without the help of God. I believe in that.
That's exactly right. Amen, brother.
Yeah.
That is so true. I like you, Mark.
Well, thanks, Cindy. And I know how many times Dick
Did I
has
say the
stretched
word
at it.
Despite?
No,
I just said
no.
I like
It's
you.
I am, even when I'm unlikable, God
I want
loves
you
me
to
for other
like
people.
you more than I like you.
Yeah, well,
I want you to like you and be happy with you. For so long, I didn't want to be around me. I just didn't like me. I couldn't go anywhere with me until I started studying and got more into understanding. Look, Cindy, you can't love anybody until you love yourself.
Isn't there a pill for that?
There is that.
But the disclaimer
not Lyrica.
Is if you don't take this.
Yeah. And when you see Cindy, like when I was watching her on Signing with Cindy, I was thinking, this girl has got it made. I mean, if anybody is out there looking and seeing what I'm seeing right now, she's going to be snatched up by, whatever show. She's going to have a series of her own. And I kept thinking, sitcom, this girl has got it. Great sense of humor and all of this animation, just cute as she can be. And you didn't like yourself. Yeah, I know. I know how that goes.
But because it was all dependent on how other people felt about me, and that's how my day would go.
Yeah.
If you liked me, if everybody liked me, and they thought I was great and all that, then I would have a great day. But how dare I, let those people decide what my day's going to be like? Because not everybody's going to like you, and not everybody's going to say nice things to you. So you're going to let that judge your day? No. So I loved it, and I love getting older. I think the older you get, the less you care about what other people say, and that's what God wanted in the beginning.
I'm getting that way with my face. Oh, let me say this one thing before I by the way, I will tell you this. Cindy could have had whatever she wanted out there. But as she was dealing with Hollywood and those types, she realized, that's a priority, but it's not worth the struggle you have to go through to get up there. And so she backed away from it. And I don't know that Mark would have done that had he had the same opportunity.
This is a whole lot more fun than
Isn't it?
being on some national show.
It is
with
different.
a lot of producers.
And no one tells you no.
People. That's exactly right.
Because one day you're going to get there and someone's going to say, no more encouraging word, Mark.
Exactly. That's true.
And that's what's great, because we'll be old enough to say,
I'm out of here.
Take it.
Yeah.
Forget about it. We're going to do whatever we want.
Yeah.
You have been listening to
That's
the
a good
Mark
point,
and
Dick.
Cindy Show. That's right. Very good, Richard. And we will be back here tomorrow and the next day, and we're always on archives.
And we want to know your famous franchise hamburger, Burger King.
What do you like?
McDonald's. Comment on Facebook for us,
Make
please.
us drool. Make us drool.
Yeah.
Listen, have a great day, everybody. We love our listeners, but we know that God loves you even more. God's got this. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, this is Tina, your host from Retro Saturdays. I wanted to invite you to visit the Lone Star Studios here in downtown Conroe, Texas. We're all volunteers here, and we need your help in serving the Montgomery County area. Radio media is a fun field to be in. Lone Star Internet Radio serves Montgomery County with news, current events, local programming, and of course, music. If you are interested in volunteering and sharing your talents in media, go to irlonestar.com and let us hear from you. Lone Star Internet Radio, serving Montgomery County from the heart of downtown Conroe.